having said this about emerging technologies and mentioning the most important things that are in place, we need to say that there is no change, there is no digital organization without automation.
Hello and welcome to a whole new episode of Engati Live. I'm your host Chandani, and we're really glad to have all of you join us today. On this show, we talk to CX and tech experts from around the world. We explore, uncover, and share fresh insights on creating experiences that your customers will remember and look forward to. Engati is the world's leading multilingual, no-code digital CX platform available across 14 channels with 45,000 solutions created across 186 countries in every domain and use case. Engati has also been recognized as a top platform by Inc. magazine, Tech World, CIO magazine, and many others. Engati recently also won the Cody 2021 award for the best AI-driven technology solution. We run the Engati blog, video channel, and the Engati CX podcast, receiving upwards of 400,000 visitors annually. And now for our guest, Sinnott is a technology influencer and digital consultant specializing in emerging technologies, digital transformation, and the future of work. He has extensive leadership experience across industries, including telecommunications, healthcare, and financial services. Welcome to the show, Harold. We're glad to have you with us today.
Thank you for having me.
It's
Thank you.
our pleasure. But before we dive into our interview with Harold, don't forget to subscribe to Engati and tap on the bell icon below to get access to exclusive content from thought leaders around the globe. So diving right into the interview, Harold, my first question to you is, how do we initiate the digital transformation processes with ongoing company activities?
Uh, Chandani, thank you very much for your introduction, and thank you very much also for talking about what Engati is doing in the world and the presence that it has also with so many customers, so many clients all over the world, and that is great. We are living in a very exciting times in terms of technology and how fast this technology is moving. And this means there are changes all everywhere, and everything is getting impacted by these technology changes that are coming every day, every single day. And when we say everything changes, also we were impacted by the pandemic recently, and we are still in so many countries, well, all over the world, but we are still impacted. But what we learned from the pandemic is that the role that technology plays, and particularly when we talk about digital transformation, is really more, is bigger than we thought before. And for many companies, it became this need of being immersed in new technologies and immersed in all these changes, the need of accelerating digital transformation. So the driver in the past, we were talking about, yes, in the near future, we will need to really get embarked in this digital transformation and really transforming the organization. But that can take time. We were thinking differently as we are thinking now after the pandemic started. So now we can say somehow the driver for digital transformation became the need of really accelerate those changes that we were thinking to do it, we were planning to do it far away from before the pandemic. So where we start with that, how we initiate this process is first, it's a comparative analysis that we need to do in our organization to see where we are. And also, of course, where we want to go, but also understanding the technologies that right now are in place, are new, and the ones that are going to be the top ones in the near future. But we need to start implementing that now somehow. And the challenge that we have there is that there is a lot of knowledge that we need to get into our organizations, and a lot of talents that is not present in many forms. That means we need to upskill. Upskilling is very important in the organization in terms of employees, but also the leadership of organization needs to adapt to this new mentality. So when we say where we start with digital transformation, it starts with people. It starts with the organizational culture. It starts with the vision of the organization. It starts also understanding that we were maybe adapting our processes, and that was the practice, an acceptable practice. Now it's not just adapting, it's much more than that. It's transforming our processes. And that is a big challenge that we have when we start talking about digital transformation.
Absolutely. And I think this has taken a very big step after the whole COVID situation when everybody was home, everybody was working remotely, and the businesses had to do something to reach the people remotely, right? Uh, so totally agree to what you were saying, Harold. Very well put up.
Yeah,
So
in my career, I work a lot with doing change management. And change management implies trying to transform the organization from top to the bottom. And many times we find those resistance to change that come from any level. So we need to work at all levels, trying to bring people together to a same and common vision. And that are the obstacles that we usually have when we try to bring that common vision, when we have different opinions, different points of view. But at the end of the day, if we don't have a common vision, common goals, we will not be able to move over, to move to this new situation, to these new technologies, and to be more competitive in the market. So it's a matter of competitiveness. It's a matter of to be competitive, and it's a matter also of understanding that it's not just that we send an email to the organization saying, okay, these are the changes that are coming, this is the new vision. It's not that. It doesn't go that way. That is part. Communication is extremely important when we work on change management, and but as well as training is very important, as well as bringing the right people on board to make sure that we are supporting the people in terms of managing anxiety, managing uncertainties, managing all the obstacles that, I mean, the fear of losing power, the fear of losing the job, the fear of, okay, are we really going to be competitive enough to prevail in the market? All those topics needs to be on the table and needs to be discussed. And this goes with facilitation that as a consultant, we as consultants usually do that. I mean, we try to understand and to bring the organizations to a common vision, to a common understanding that means identifying the strengths of the organization in each area, in each country where we are present, and also understanding the area for improvement, and also understanding which are the benchmarks that we have in the market, in the industry, that if we learn from them, we will benefit a lot. So to be able to overcome some challenges that we have with this digital transformation and with all the changes that this implies, we need to make sure that we bring all that information, that knowledge. It's a lot of training, a lot of communication, a lot of listening also inside the organization to be able to really put together to have a common vision and a common goal as we was mentioning.
absolutely, Harold. So moving on to my next question, what is the biggest obstacle to digital transformation and how can businesses overcome these obstacles?
Okay, something that is key in digital transformation, and as we are talking about organizational change, is to understand that the culture needs to really be the discussion about our common values, the set of common values that characterize the culture of organization, the behaviors that we want. We need to make sure that all those are in place. How we do that? Well, as we said, communication, listening, training, a lot of training, and a lot of conversation with people also to make sure that we are supporting all those, I would say, anxieties, uncertainties that comes when changes are in place. So for doing that, I mean, those are the main obstacles that we usually have is the fear of change. Is the fear is of if I'm going to have a job or not, or if I'm going to have the right skills to do the job with the new technology. So those obstacles need always to be addressed. Organizations that do not address this have trouble because sooner or later you have several conflicts or people, your key talents start to go out or to look at for another job. But you need to keep the organization motivated. And how we do that? We do it with training, we do facilitating sessions with leaders that need to understand, I mean, that are willing to understand the new changes, and they are willing also to be involved in this transformation that is needed nowadays.
Very well said, Harold. So, my next question to you is, what is the most influential emerging technology in digital transformation implementation, and which one you would go for?
Look, and this is a very interesting question because we have emergent technologies in place that are several. Uh, we can say maybe are a few, maybe they are a lot, but we always talk about how artificial intelligence is impacting, how machine learning is impacting. We talk about all the Internet of Things. Always we talk about connectivity that is absolutely important, and we need to talk about 5G that is really a a huge change that will impact all businesses, starting with telecom organizations, with consumer service communication service providers, the CPS that really are going to work in a new multiplayer environment with all partners to provide services that can help organizations to be more agile. But now, having said this about emerging technologies and mentioning the most important things that are in place, we need to say that there is no change, there is no digital organization without automation. There is no change. I mean, there is absolutely a need to understand how intelligent automation, how automation, robotic process automation is a very important technology, I would say, that we need to use for automatic, for really using processes in a different way. When we say this, we talk about bots. A couple of years, less than a couple of years ago, I had a first training on bots that was in Silicon Valley, and I remember I was really amazed because all what you can do with using bots in your organization that definitely can help for so many things. It's not just a simple or progressive update of your processes. So many years we were talking about redesigning processes, make them cost efficient, to make them with more agile, and to make sure that we were satisfying customers. That is absolutely a key, at the same time being profitable. Now, what we are saying now with automation is much more of that, because with bots you can automate processes that usually you do manually, and maybe in a daily basis, working 8 hours, and maybe with when doing these things manually, we have the risk of making mistakes or duplicating information, or I mean, so many mistakes that usually happen with when we're doing manually. But even if we use some systems, some applications for doing our work, still we have a limit of the time that we are dedicating to those systems. And then when we need to put together all that information, is also a lot of time and manual work that is involved. With automation, with robotic process automation, I would say using artificial intelligence also for automation, for robotic process automation, we have the opportunity to say we're not thinking about 5 days a week, 8 hours a day. We're saying 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year, non-stop work on those processes that will interact automatically and all the time, thanks to all the bots that you're going to be implementing in your organization. So there is no change, or there is no effective change. There is not enough, I would say, the digital transformation that you want to have effective for your organization, but there is no change. As well, we say when we talk about future of work, there is no future of work. There is no digital transformation without automation, without RPA. So that is really one of the things that we need to have more conversations about, because companies that are implementing automation, that they are using artificial intelligence with, and they're using bots, have increased, I would say they have drastic increases, very important customer satisfaction also increase in the levels of customer satisfaction that is significant, and because of that, we definitely say that we need to talk about bots in particular.
Absolutely. And when we talk about digital transformation, we also talk about digital transformation leadership. So, what's your take on digital transformation leadership? And could you share any of your examples and experiences with our audience?
Now is digital transformation, and we are so enthusiastic about really getting into this change that digital transformation brings. Is absolutely exciting. Before that, we had also some changes that we needed to implement in organization. What is common when we say, and maybe this is a phrase where I want to quote something that we say so many times, but it's still current, that when we say that what we know is a change is going to be always here, it's going to be always present. So we know that what we did in the past, and we were successful with what we did, and we implemented whatever, is not going to be really good right now if we don't change. So the first, I would say, line that we need to talk, we need to have this discussion about which are the changes that the digital transformation will bring to your organization, and particularly using these new processes that are going to be more effective if we use bots, if we use robotic process automation. The first line that we need to really have discuss with is with the leadership, with the top leadership. Leaders are always willing to improve the organization. We can have different discussions about the way of doing that. But the common sense always is we really want to improve, even if we have different views of how to do it. So one of the sessions that sometimes as consultants we do is to facilitate these meetings, these sessions that can help the organization to get into a baseline, that can help the organization to have a competitive self-assessment, where the organization is right now, where we want to go. But first we need to agree. I'm sorry for that. First we need to agree on where we are and what is coming in the organization, in the industry, and that will impact our organizations. So leaders absolutely want to make sure that we're going to be successful, but we need to have these conversations, and we need to put together to get common ground on where we are, which are our strengths, which are our areas of improvement, our opportunities, and the time, and also where to start with. And this is something very critical, because leaders in the organization plays a critical role in terms of communicating, bringing the right people, supporting people to make sure that even if working inside and being at the office in the organization, or remotely, or in a hybrid work mode, everybody needs to be on board, and everybody needs to understand this vision and where we are going.
Very rightly said, Harold. So, in your opinion, how effective is the integration of customer experience tools in this age of digital transformation? And what do you think? Can chatbots and live chat solve majority of your customer experience problems?
Well, I think that when we talk about customer experience is key because when the pandemic started, we were discussing this that we were having a big crisis. The crisis was that employees couldn't go to the office, should stay at home, should stay working remotely. Employees also were afraid. We all were afraid of what was happening because pandemic was terrifying everybody, and particularly because we were in lockdowns in so many places, and we didn't know how long that was going to take, and in some I would say some geographies also we are having that situation. We say, okay, now we don't need to use a mask. And then 2 weeks after or 1 month after, we say, no, no, start using the mask again because we have the variants of the virus that are really causing problems. So all those fears, all those worries were affecting us. And also they were, they were affecting our customers. So from a leadership perspective, or from the leadership standpoint, there were two big things to be worrying about. First, first, business continuity, making sure that all our operations were in place, even if working in remote work environment, in a remote work, and making sure that everybody also has the level of connectivity that they need to do their job. That was a big, big issue for so many people. And understanding also the context that the employees were having start work by working remotely. So many cases was easy because, okay, I have a good connectivity, I'm comfortable at home. But in some other cases, you don't have also only the employee working at home. You have also spouse, partners, children, children that were also doing with distance education and that you need to assist also at the same time doing your work. So first, all those things we say business continuity was an issue. The second thing, and I would say at the same level, the worry was about the customer experience. We still need to be delivering out to our customers. And we need to be delivering in a good fashion because our customers also are impacted by the pandemic, also are impacted by all those things that we are suffering somehow. So we're perceiving. So um, from a customer experience, experience perspective, I would say there was a lot of lessons learned from organizations because communications also with customers and understanding that everybody was getting more say skillful with technology. We're using technology, video conference, WhatsApp, your Telegram, or whatever. In everything. I mean, we needed also to understand that, and that comes also something that propels this driver about implementing digital transformation. That because suddenly all every company became a technology company. So technology became really a very important subject because not subject only very important to consider to survive and to grow, and also to make sure that our communication and our services with with our customers were also in the right place and with the right level of performance that is needed. So all this, I would say that the customer experience with digital transformation, they definitely, I mean, they are the center of what we do. Customers, I mean, it's not our communities are important. And also we need to understand that our customers are also caring about what's happening in their communities, what happens in our world. I mean, we have climate problems, we have environmental problems, we have sustainability issues that we need to address. So we don't want to hear only about I mean from companies only talking about their products, but we want to really understand that there is a purpose in what we are doing. So when we're talking now about digital transformation and that changes are not gradual now, they are exponential, we need to understand also that we need to have a common purpose, clear, communicated to to everybody, and particularly our customers, and that will help the integration. Also helps a lot to the integration, having on board our customers.
Absolutely. So, before we wind up the interview, Harold, are there any other sound bites you'd like to leave our audience with?
Well, and look, I'm excited, and we're all excited about what is coming, because what's coming is really more technology that will help to improve our lives. Now, when every time that we have changes, and we saw that in the industrial revolution, so many industrial revolutions. Now we are in the fourth, but every time we have this industrial revolution, all these changes, there are fears, and there are people that need to change jobs. Because yes, we are saying a lot of jobs are going to be eliminated, and automation also brings with that change in the role that you're doing in your organization. Now, if that means that you will not going to be able to have a new job, yes, you're going to have to be able to do that. And that is important also for organizations to understand. We need to take care of our people, and we need to help them in order to everybody, in order to upskilling. Upskilling is very, very important. Something that the organization can do to help employees from now is to make sure that we bring the right or the necessary training to make sure that everybody has the skills and need for doing for working in this new environment with automation, with bots that are going to be I would say part of our daily life. They started to be, but will expand to everybody, I would say. And uh, when we talk about new skills for employees, we need to talk about identifying the jobs that everybody can do. But saying in a few words, also just to say a few words, the new jobs that are going to come are more than the ones that we have right now. So some jobs are going to
Absolutely.
disappear, the manual jobs maybe, but a lot of new jobs are coming. So this sense and that information is very important to have it. Sometimes in my Twitter account, I share a lot about these new jobs that are coming and the training, where you can get it. So I have questions on Twitter. People send me messages saying, "Where can I get? Where can I start learning online about these new jobs that are coming?" And I'm happy always to share that information also, that they are free of charge trainings online from different companies that they need people to get this training, these drills, to assist the organization in a new environment with digital transformation, that we're going to have a lot of automation, a lot of bots. So this is absolutely key.
This is amazing, Harold. Thank you so much for giving us your time and insights. It was really valuable. And I know our audience is going to enjoy this interview.
I'm so happy to having me here. I'm very grateful for that. Thank you so much.
The pleasure is all ours. So we'll be back with a new episode and a brand new expert soon. So stay tuned and we'll see you around for the next one. Thank you.